Welcome back here on a Yahoo Finance. COVID case counts and the number of deaths continuing to trend in the right direction here in the U.S. We want to bring in Anjalee Khemlani for the latest on that. Anj.
Thanks, Shauna. So the U.S. is now reporting less than 20,000 cases per day. And that's a really good number because that is what we saw at the early days of the pandemic back in March 2020. That's about the time when we saw the numbers this low. And this is a really good sign, not only that the vaccines are working, but that also, cases have been maintained, the practices that have been maintained have been working. Meanwhile, deaths have also been decreasing. We've seen some of the hotspots like New York continue to see 0 new deaths, and that is promising news. Of course, all of this goes back to what's going on with the vaccines, and that is something that even top experts like Dr. Anthony Fauci have said that unless the rest of the world gets access to these vaccines and can do and replicate what is being seen in the US, the pandemic is not going to be curbed. And we do face that threat in the fall. The Biden administration announcing yesterday and today that they are going to, in fact, send those doses abroad, about 25 million from the stash of Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Moderna vaccine doses to countries like India, Brazil, and other places where they're seeing critical surges. Meanwhile, we also know that the AstraZeneca doses that have not yet been approved here in the US are going to also be on the slate to deliver to the global population sometime in the near future. Back to you guys.
Hey, Anjalee, very quickly, do we have any idea of what might be different in the National Month of Action that the administration is declaring?
Yeah, there are a couple of steps that they announced that will be taken, things like free childcare for individuals who have said that they cannot, in fact, get vaccines because of their obligations and their priorities to take care of children. Extended pharmacy hours are another thing, when people have the 9 to 5 shifts or shifts that don't align with vaccination sites, as well as things that have been criticized in terms of technology use and the idea that a large portion of the population had to rely on getting access through websites. Now they're doing outreach events, texting, and sort of low tech ideas that are largely in line with public health solutions. So that's what we expect to see as the Biden administration hopes to get 70% of the population vaccinated by July 4th.
And Anj, I think you mentioned this quickly before, but I just wanted to re-hit it because I keep hearing it being brought up in so many conversations. What's the timeline for us to really get a better handle on whether or not we'll likely see an outbreak from Memorial Day weekend when so many people were gathering with friends and family? Is it 14 days? Is it 21? Any idea on the timeline of that?
Well, they are looking at that typical 14-day period. We know that, really just keeping an eye on that timeline right now. We're just a few days out from the weekend. But most of the focus has largely been towards later this year. That's really where a lot of experts are focused. But for right now, yes, it's that 14-day timeline to see if any impact from the new mask mandates as well as the impact of the vaccinations is going to be seen.